and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day.
Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues. The best Christmas song ever. You can forget Mariah Carey and All I Want for Christmas. This is the best Christmas song. So welcome back to JoEnglish. As promised, we have another Only English Christmas special. Today I'm going to be talking specifically about the 24th, 25th and 26th of December. So in English we call them Christmas Eve, because Eve we use for the day before something, so the day before Christmas Day. Then obviously the 25th, Christmas Day, and the 26th we call Boxing Day. And I'm going to explain why later in the video. So let's start with Christmas Eve. I want to talk a bit about what we do and what happens. Now, obviously, this is Christmas, so traditions change from different parts of the country. So obviously, I'm giving you my experience on Christmas Eve. I know in Italy, you eat a lot of fish on Christmas Eve. We don't really have that tradition. And we don't have the tradition of opening Christmas presents at midnight, like a lot of people here in Italy do. Christmas Eve, obviously in a normal year, not this year because everything's ruined by COVID. But it really depends whether you have children or not. Because on Christmas Eve, if you have children, everything revolves around them. For example, I remember before having children, Christmas Eve was a big night to go to the pub, to go and see friends, have a few drinks and have a good time. But with children, of course, everything changes. You need to create the magic of Christmas. So what we do is we make sure the children are in bed early. And we tell them, if you're not in bed early, Father Christmas isn't going to come with presents. So usually, especially with smaller children, that makes them go to bed early. But before that, which is really important, we need to give a present for Father Christmas and his reindeer. So what we do is with the children, we prepare a carrot, which we leave on a plate near the Christmas tree, which is for reindeer, obviously Rudolph the reindeer. Then we leave a glass of milk for Father Christmas, or sometimes a shot of whiskey. It depends what Father Christmas prefers. And of course, then we leave a biscuit as well, again for Father Christmas to eat. Obviously, when the children go to bed, you need to bite a bit of the carrot, bite a bit of the biscuit, drink a bit of the milk to show them that they really came the night before. And then pretty much a few drinks, to bed early, ready for the big day. So, Christmas Day, the most important day. Obviously, with children, it starts really early, whenever they wake up. And they run downstairs to the Christmas tree to have a look at what Father Christmas has left them under the tree. Obviously, these traditions depend and change from household to household. For example, there are those who go to church on Christmas Day and those who don't go to church on Christmas Day. To be honest, Britain isn't like Italy. Obviously, in Italy, lots of people go to church. Britain really isn't like that anymore. But Christmas Day, I suppose, is the one day of the year that even if you're not that religious, you try to make an effort to go to church. So, my family, we would always go to church. So we would open a couple of presents beforehand, then go to church whatever time it starts, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock, I can't remember. Go to church for an hour and then come home and start preparing for the Christmas meal, which I will talk about in a second. So we'd put the turkey in the oven and then we would go to the pub. Because usually on Christmas Day, pubs are open from 12 o'clock until 2 o'clock. Obviously in bigger cities, or if they serve food, they're open all day, obviously. But it's a chance for the landlord. The landlord of a pub is the owner, and it would give them a chance to buy a drink for the locals to thank them for their custom all year round. So you go to the pub, have a couple of drinks while the turkey is cooking back at home, and then all go home at around 2 o'clock. On Christmas Day, obviously, especially for my family and lots of families, we eat a bit later on in the day. We don't usually eat 1 o'clock. It's normally 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, because obviously you only eat once usually on Christmas Day. So in the evening, you're not very hungry because you've stuffed yourself with all of the food. So what food do we eat on Christmas Day? Right, let me tell you. I would say 90% of people eat turkey, but there are people who don't. Other popular dishes would be, if you prefer fish, salmon is very popular, or maybe beef or lamb are also very popular. But I would still say turkey is still the real traditional dish that people eat on Christmas Day. And you need to eat it with all the trimmings. All the trimmings would be all of the different vegetables and side dishes. For example, the dreaded Brussels sprouts that nobody eats any other time of year really, apart from Christmas Day. Then obviously potatoes, roast potatoes, cauliflower cheese, and whatever other vegetables that you like as a family. Oh, and I nearly forgot. I cannot believe I nearly forgot this. The greatest food ever invented. Pigs in blankets. Pigs in blankets are basically sausages wrapped in bacon. Oh, I cannot wait for tomorrow to eat pigs in blankets. They are amazing. The strange thing is, turkey isn't a particularly fantastic meat, and normally I wouldn't eat it any other time of the year, but it's just strange. It's one of those traditions. Christmas Day, turkey. Another really important thing that we have on Christmas Day is a cracker. What's a cracker? This is a cracker. And everybody has one of these at the table. And what you need to do is you need to put... Hang on. It would be easier if I showed you, wouldn't it? One moment. James! So, I've got James here with me. Yep. James, would you like to pull the cracker with me?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's just explain what happens, okay? Yeah. So usually, before you start your Christmas meal, everyone gets their cracker with somebody else, and then don't do it just yet, James, and they pull it. Inside, there is usually a little joke, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a joke.
What else?
A hat.
A hat.
And there's a little toy.
And a little toy. Okay, right. I think we should do it, don't you?
Yeah.
James, should we do it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Can they see? 1, 2, 3, go. Go! Right.
Oh, I lost.
I won. He lost. So, then you have a look inside. Now let me have a look.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, James, that's the toy. It's like...
This is the toy. They're like mini cards, as you can see.
Okay.
Mini cards.
Here
is
the joke. Right. This is not very funny, James. These jokes are known for not being funny. I will read one. How do you know Santa Claus is good at karate? He has a black belt. Right. Right. Also,
oh yeah, that's funny.
No, it's not. Also, this is it. This is the important thing. Look. Well, I'll take this off. And then everybody eats their Christmas dinner like this.
Guys, look. This toy, it has both sides. This.
So it's obviously a trick pack of cards, isn't it, James?
Yeah.
So this is the type of thing that you get in a cracker. Okay? Yeah. Right, James, thank you very much. See you later, man.
Yeah, see you later.
So that's a cracker. Now, after the Christmas lunch, at 3 o'clock every year, the Queen has her speech. Now, to be honest, I don't usually watch the Queen's speech, but I know a lot of people do. And she talks about what has happened in the year, and it's generally just 10 or 15 minutes. So it's actually quite good to learn English because she speaks very clearly. So what you need to do is after Christmas Day, go on YouTube and find the Queen's speech. Basically, that's it for Christmas Day, because then afterwards, everybody is so full, they sit down in front of the telly, watch TV, have a drink, and just eat lots of chocolates. So there we are. That is Christmas Day. Right, Boxing Day. Now, very quickly, I'm going to explain to you why it's called Boxing Day, because it has nothing to do with boxing. Now, there are various stories as to the origins of Boxing Day, but I'll tell you the most accepted. Many years ago, the priest of the church would go on Christmas Eve to the families who were very, very rich and give them a box and say, please can you fill this with some food, some clothes, some presents for the poorer people. Then Christmas Day, everybody would go to church and the rich people would leave their boxes. Now, again, on Boxing Day, the 26th, everyone would go to church and the priest would say, if you didn't have a present yesterday, please come and take one. So the poor families could then go and get a box. So therefore, that's where the term Boxing Day comes from. Now, Boxing Day is obviously very different from Christmas Day because having put on about 3 kilos the day before, everyone wants to go outside. So Boxing Day is usually a very outdoor day, going for walks at the beach, in the countryside, but also sport. There's a lot of sport on locally and also professionally with the Premier League football, for example. And another Christmas tradition that we have, as well as New Year's Day, but on Boxing Day, lots of people go for a swim in the sea. I know, crazy. And often in fancy dress as Father Christmas or an elf or a snowman, and they run into the sea and go swimming. No, I've never done it. And to be honest, I don't want to either. So, there we are, everybody. Thank you for watching this Christmas special. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas day tomorrow under these very strange circumstances. Thank you very much for watching. Merry Christmas.